What's up, Cowboys Nation? The news is officially shaking up the NFC. C.J. Mosley, the veteran linebacker and former cornerstone of the New York Jets defense, has reportedly signed with the Dallas Cowboys in one of the most strategic mid-offseason moves we've seen in years. And let me tell you right now, this isn't just a depth chart filler or locker room presence. This is a straight-up injection of leadership, toughness, and experience into a defensive unit that, let's be honest, has been reeling since the end of last season. With the Cowboys finishing near the bottom of the league in rushing defense and linebacker stability, this signing couldn't have come at a more critical time. But before we dive into what this really means, let's take a moment to reflect on how Dallas even got here. Last season, while the Cowboys' offense showed flashes of dominance under Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, the defense faltered down the stretch, especially after key injuries to the linebacker core. DeMarvion Overshown, who was pegged as a breakout candidate heading into this season, suffered a devastating multi-ligament knee injury during OTAs, essentially wiping out what would have been a pivotal year in his development. That loss left a massive hole in the middle of the defense, especially in terms of athleticism and coverage ability, forcing the coaching staff to rely heavily on untested options like Jack Sanborn and recent pickup Kenneth Murray Jr. who, while promising, haven't proven to be long-term solutions, at least not yet. So what do the Cowboys do? They go out and land a true veteran. Enter C.J. Mosley, a former first-round pick out of Alabama and one of the most cerebral, hard-nosed linebackers the league has seen over the past decade. We're talking about a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, 2-time All-Pro, and one of the most consistent tackling machines in the NFL over his career. And while he's now entering his 10th season at the age of 33, Mosley brings the exact kind of football IQ, toughness, and leadership Dallas desperately needs, especially for a team that believes it's in a win-now window. Look, Mosley isn't a flashy name anymore. This isn't 2018 C.J. Mosley we're talking about, but make no mistake, the man can still ball. Last season with the Jets, despite battling minor injuries and a shift in defensive scheme that didn't necessarily play to his strengths, Mosley still posted over 130 total tackles, maintained his reputation as a run-game disruptor, and anchored the Jets' front seven in a division filled with mobile quarterbacks and creative offenses. But beyond stats, what CJ brings is stability and intangible quality the Cowboys have lacked at linebacker for several years now. It's not just about wrapping up running backs or sniffing out screens, it's about being that field general, the one who lines up the defense, reads the offensive formations, makes pre-snap adjustments, and keeps younger players like Sanborn, Damone Clark, and Shamar James from getting lost in the chaos of modern NFL offenses. And let's not overlook the coaching dynamic here. Defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, who recently returned to the NFL sidelines, is one of the sharpest defensive minds in football, especially when it comes to maximizing veteran talent. Remember how he revived the careers of players like Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks during his time in Minnesota? That same blueprint is being applied here with Mosley. Zimmer thrives when he has a cerebral linebacker he can trust to execute the scheme and direct traffic, and Mosley is tailor-made for that responsibility. Plus, the Cowboys' front office deserves a tip of the cap here. This wasn't a panic signing. This was a smart, calculated move, waiting until after June 1 to avoid any cap complications and landing Mosley on what's likely a team-friendly, incentive-laden one-year deal. The move also doesn't restrict Dallas from making further roster additions or pursuing trades if needed, especially with the cap room still available post-Parsons' contract extension negotiations. Financially, this move is low risk, high reward, and that's exactly what Super Bowl contenders need to be doing at this stage in the offseason. Now let's talk fit. Mosley doesn't need to be a 3-down linebacker every snap, though he very well could be. He's expected to play a hybrid role, man the middle on early downs, stop the run, and provide mentorship and flexibility depending on who's flanking him. Kenneth Murray Jr. is still expected to play significant snaps, especially on passing downs, and Jack Sanborn can rotate in depending on formation. This linebacker trio Mosley, Murray, Sanborn suddenly looks much more formidable than it did just a few weeks ago. And that's not even factoring in Micah Parsons, who will likely stay on the edge but could shift roles situationally. More importantly, Mosley's presence lets everyone else focus on what they do best. Micah can rush the passer without needing to constantly drop into coverage. The safeties don't have to cheat up into the box every play. The defensive line doesn't need to worry about plugging every gap because Mosley is there to clean up. This kind of ripple effect can't be overstated. And from a locker room perspective, massive boost. C.J. Mosley is universally respected across the league not just by teammates, but by coaches, opponents, and media alike. He's known for his professionalism, film study habits, and mentoring younger players. For a team that's dealt with its fair share of off-field distractions and locker room inconsistencies, bringing in a guy like Mosley can help reset the tone, especially on a defense that often lacked identity late last season. Think about this. When Dallas got blown out by Green Bay in the playoffs, the biggest criticism wasn't the offense, it was the defense's inability to get stops, adjust mid-game, or even look composed under pressure. C.J. Mosley brings that calming, steadying force. He's been in playoff wars. He's faced Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, you name it. He won't blink under the bright lights, and that influence matters when you're trying to take the next step from contender to champion. Of course, this isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are valid concerns. Mosley is 33. He has battled injuries in recent years, including groin, neck, and soft tissue issues. While none seem chronic, it does raise the question, how much juice does he have left in the tank? The Cowboys will likely monitor his snap count, ease him into camp, and keep him on a maintenance plan through the season. But that's fine, you don't need CJ playing 100% of snaps. You need him in the clutch moments, the 3 road and 2 stops in the 4th quarter, the goal line stands, the playoff caliber plays. And if you manage his workload correctly, he'll deliver when it matters most. Also, some critics might argue that this move delays the development of younger talent. But here's the truth, development doesn't mean throwing guys into the fire with no support. Development happens through mentoring, through watching a pro's preparation, through learning how to diagnose plays in real time. Having Mosley in that room will do more for the growth of young linebackers than any extra 10 snaps per game would. And think about the message this sends to the rest of the team. Signing C.J. Mosley isn't just about patching a hole, it's about saying, we're serious about winning now. That's the message to Doc. That's the message to Ceedee, to Zach Martin, to the fanbase. There are no excuses left. The front office went out and found a proven veteran who knows how to win, who can elevate a defense, and who can hold teammates accountable on every snap. The NFC is wide open, folks. San Francisco is still strong, but they've got question marks. Philly is regressing. Green Bay is young. And beyond that, it's Dallas's for the taking if they get the defense right. With Mosley now in place, they've taken a giant step toward doing just that. So now the question becomes, what's next? Will this move lead to more signings? Will Dallas explore adding another cornerback or rotational pass rusher to further solidify the defense? Will Mosley step in immediately and earn the green dot, the signal caller role for the defense? Time will tell. Training camp is right around the corner, and all eyes will be on how this unit gels with Mosley at the heart of it. But for now, Cowboys fans should be thrilled. You just landed one of the smartest, toughest, and most respected defenders of the last decade, and you didn't have to break the bank to do it. This is the kind of savvy, veteran move that separates playoff teams from Super Bowl contenders. C.J. Mosley in a Cowboys jersey? It might not have been on anyone's bingo card a month ago, but today it looks like a move that could define the entire season.